Hello, everyone. Have you ever been to a place, a church, a small group, where you just haven't felt accepted? And then you go to one that makes you feel accepted, and you're like, this is where I belong. Life, faith, Jesus. Yeah, you don't want me singing. Don't worry. I will not sing again. That I can promise you. So, but I want to talk to you today about how the world will accept you, but most of the time, some of the time, few of the time, whatever you want to say, Christians will reject you. The church rejects you. Why? Because you look different, because you act different, because you're not the status quo that they want you to look like, because you don't say the same things that they say. It's just a number of things that the church looks at you and they're like, you don't belong here. I see a meme on Facebook that goes around, and it's this one. He thinks he's a Christian, so she like moves away from him. Christ is in my heart. He knows he's a Christian. And then you aren't a true follower like us. It's the other boys, saying you're not a true follower like us. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this this meme breaks my heart every time I see it. And I found another one that said, let people accept you for you. And if they don't accept you, then leave them alone. Again, I've said this numerous times. I always will say it. Those are two different extremes that you have to be careful about. Because on one hand, when the world accepts you and Christians reject you because you don't look like them or anything like that, then that's terrible. But on the other hand, when the church is accepting you and accepting you and accepting you and not really changing you, that's also horrible, because you want to be changed when Christ enters your life. So, but my focus today is, if we want to draw closer to God, then we have to learn to accept the ones who are probably weaker than we are in our Christian faith. Accept the ones who we're trying to mature. We're trying to bring them into this fellowship and have them change into what God is molding them to be. And some of the verses I want to look at today are, one of them are in Romans 14, 1 through 4. And this is what Paul says to the church of Romans. Accept the one whose faith is weak, without quarreling over disputable matters. One person's faith allows them to eat anything, but another whose faith is weak eats only vegetables. The one who eats anything must not treat with contempt the one who does not. And the one who does not eat everything must not judge the one who does, for God has accepted them. Who are you to judge someone else's servant? To their own master, servants stand and fall, and they will stand, for the Lord is able to make them stand. The Lord is able to make them stand. We're not the ones who judge people. We're not the ones who bring people into the fellowship of Christ or push them out. Us are the ones that accept them. That's what Christ has called you to do. Now, I've said in another video before, and I'll put it in the description below, about, if you're accepting someone who completely is doing something unbiblical and sinful, and you're like, well, that's just who they are. No. If it's unbiblical and sinful, you correct them and lead them to Christ. But if it's just like you're rejecting them because, like this image shows, you don't like them because they look different than you, they don't have the proper haircut than you, then that's just straight up judging. That's all that is. Because I can tell you right now, that man probably has Jesus in his heart. He probably loves Jesus with all his heart. But you're judging him because of the way he looks. Bottom line, period. You don't do that. Don't do it. Don't judge people like that. And then in Romans 15:7, it says this: accept one another, then, just as Christ accepted you in order to bring praise to God. Just remember, had Christ not come into your life and accepted you when you were in sin, you wouldn't be a Christian right now. You wouldn't be who you are right now had Christ not come into your life. I wouldn't be who I am right now had Christ not come into my life. You see, because when I was growing up, I had divorced parents. I felt like no one wanted me. No one accepted me. No one wanted anything to do with me. Yes, even in the church. That's what it felt like. It took a youth pastor and some of my close friends who were good Christians to show me that the church isn't rejecting you and the world is accepting you. No, Christ is accepting you. There's time to change, but Christ is accepting. And that's what we have to learn how to do. That's what you have to probably learn how to do. So is there someone that you have rejected because of what they look like or how they act? Answer in the comments below. I want to know. I mean, I'll be praying for you because it's a difficult situation to be in. Honestly, our natural tendency is to reject people and accept people who are like us and reject people who aren't like us. This meme is our natural tendency. This meme is what we are drawn to do naturally. Because, well, why? They look like us. They act like us. So naturally, that's what we want. But that's not who God's called you to be. God's called you to accept the unacceptable and love them into the family of Christ so that they can change. As always, guys, it's time to be different. It's time to live different. You have a good day.